Welcome back to OpenLine. We are talking about Mayor Megan Barry's Transportation Action Agenda. It was released 3 weeks ago. This is what the mayor hopes to be able to accomplish in the next 3 years. Kind of a lot to it. Certainly there's a lot to discuss. We have a lot of calls. Let's go to the phones and let's go to Wayne. Hello, Wayne.
Yeah, I'm here.
Go right ahead.
Okay, first I want to take the opportunity to thank you for what you're doing. Your show basically gets a lot of attention, gets a lot of things done. Without you, a lot of things would be uncovered. How's that?
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. And thanks, yeah, that they come on and take your questions. I agree. Thank you.
Okay, I'll keep it simple. 1 minute. In California, when they had traffic problems, they basically went to carpooling, and they talked with companies about having different work shifts. Now, that relieved it almost immediately. So, you know, what I say is keep it simple, because Nashville will never be a big city. And the money they're asking to pay for all this, it gets lost in planning and development. The next thing you know, they don't have the money to do it. So I say keep it simple. Fix the problem that you have now by carpooling, and talk to companies and say, okay, have a 6, 7, 8 o'clock shift where you have a 3-hour swing instead of everybody getting off at the same time.
All right, good. Thank you. I appreciate that input. I've heard this talked about before. Where are we with that?
Well, I'm so glad Wayne asked that question, and we do talk about this in the action agenda. And Jeff had mentioned that we're partnering with TDOT on a lot of these projects, and so we're getting ready to launch what we're calling the Nashville Complete Trips program, and we're doing it in partnership with TDOT. They provided the funding for us to do that, and the point of the Complete Trips program is to do exactly what Wayne talked about. The technical term is travel demand management, and it's talking with employers and companies and talking to them about staggered work times. Nashville is very unique in that we have about a 30-minute peak in the morning and a 30-minute peak in the afternoon, and lots of other cities, San Francisco, because it has a lot of folks that work in the finance industry that come in at 7, and the tech people that come in at 9, 9:30, they sort of are able to spread out that peak travel time. And so that's something that we definitely need to be considering, and we're going to start that education process with employers, making sure that their employees know when those commute times are and how they could be commuting at a different time. The other thing that's incorporated in that is telecommuting, encouraging employers to allow people to work from home a couple days a week, even just once a week makes a difference. And then the other thing is making sure that everybody has the information that they need to about MTA's Easy Ride program, which is the passes that employers provide to employees to ride the bus, the B-Cycle membership program, educating employers around providing facilities for people that ride their bikes, bike parking, showers, etc. So
I would think one of the biggest employers, one of the biggest, would certainly be the state. And so do you go to the state and say, boy, it'd be nice if we could let people off at, I don't know, 2, 3, 4, you know, stagger, but then when do they have to come in? They have to come in. What have you had that kind of conversation, and how are you met by employers or by the state when you ask about those kinds of things?
So our two biggest employers in Nashville actually are us, Metro government,
okay,
and Vanderbilt, and I think the state is third.
Okay.
And so we obviously are actively talking to ourselves, and we're working very closely with Vanderbilt as well, and I think the state will for sure be on that list of folks that we're talking with.
But we're not doing it now.
We're just about to launch the program. As Jeff said, we're in budget season, and so as soon as this budget gets approved, we'll be able to hire those folks to launch that program.
Well, I'm encouraged by that. Then we're not doing it now. It seems like I agree, if we could stagger the times people get off, how could that not do anything but help? So okay, that's good.
I think that's a good jumping off point too, to talk about some of the things that are happening technologically. You know, there are apps and there are better ways than ever before to link up with someone and carpool. And I would estimate, you know, if every car that's out on the road now had 2 people in it instead of 1, we probably wouldn't be here talking about this. And the way, you know, our cell phones and the impact that technology is happening on transportation is really remarkable. Erin can talk some about autonomous vehicles maybe later, but the things that are coming down the pike, some of it foreseeable. Some of it's still not, frankly. But in this case, as Wayne points out, you know, just simple things like sharing a ride with someone could really make a big difference. And that's one thing this program will try to make the most use of.
All right, Wayne, thank you for that call. Let's go to Brian. Hello, Brian.
Hey, they had Nick had the morning show with the head poobah guy of the transportation things. Remember that? And we were talking about, you know, the immediate fix for I-24 Murfreesboro to Nashville. I used to live in Murfreesboro a couple years from 2002 to 2003, but I live out towards the country now, almost to Fairview. It takes me less time. It's 30 miles. It's only 15 miles to Murfreesboro. It takes me half the time it takes for people to go to Murfreesboro there. It didn't used to. Can they take the buses all the way to Murfreesboro? I think they are. I think they're making an exception because it's not MTA once it crosses Davis County line. But, you know, can they double up those buses, and then you got the factory workers all over? Can they just have the buses go all the way from Murfreesboro to Nashville like 10 times a day?
All right, what about that?
There are a couple of opportunities to do that. Yes, they do. They go all the way to Murfreesboro. It's called the Relax and Ride service through MTA is also called MTA RTA, and RTA is the Regional Transit Authority, and they take those longer trips, and they're very comfortable buses. They're more like coach buses instead of the city buses that a lot of people are used to, and so that provides a really great service between Murfreesboro and Nashville, and then make stops in Smyrna and places along the way too. There are some other things that are on the horizon. There, along the Murfreesboro Road corridor, going down through southeast Davidson County, it is a new project that is just getting ready to be bid and go to construction, and that is called Transit Signal Priority, with the aim there being we make upgrades to our signal equipment and some lane reconfiguration, but not too much, more of the technology part of it, to try to get buses along that corridor faster. So one of the things we know that attracts riders is if you're stuck in traffic and you see that bus going by, you know, and able to pass you or jump in front of you at a signal, you know, you might be encouraged to use that service more. And we place more priority on a high occupancy vehicle like a transit vehicle to get them where they need to go. The third thing that's being looked at still is a possible use of bus on shoulder. So, you know, trying to make that transit trip from places like Murfreesboro into Nashville, bypassing the queue of traffic that's on the interstate, but not adding anything else, not adding any infrastructure, not taking anything away, certainly letting them run on the shoulder that's there now. Other places do it, and we're still exploring the opportunities to do that.
Other places do that, yes. I have seen that. And that is, okay, that's interesting. So it's good, Brian. So some of that's going on as we speak. Okay, we have to take a break, then we'll come back, we'll take more calls, and I do want to talk about some of the technology changes because I think that's very interesting. We'll take a break, be back right after this.